Welcome to the Best Little Town Podcast, your go-to source for everything happening in the town of Bedford's local government. Whether it's new initiatives or important decisions shaping our town's future, you'll hear it right here. Brought to you by Grove Street FM and hosted by Town Manager Bart Warner. This podcast is dedicated to keeping our residents informed and engaged.
Good morning, listeners. It is Wednesday, April 24th, and this is the latest installment of the Best Little Town podcast, brought to you by the town of Bedford in an effort to provide greater information and depth of information to our citizens, customers, and interested parties. I'm Bart Warner, the town manager, and I'm going to jump right in with a recap of the discussions that took place at last night's council meeting. I'm starting with the agenda. In my report, I advised that our new Public Works Director, Mr. Tom Woodard, will be joining our staff the first week in June. His first day on the job will be June 3rd, which is going to be a busy week for all of us. That's part of the 80th anniversary of D-Day and the major commemoration that will take place in conjunction with that. Probably a good time for Tom to jump right in and get his feet wet. We had one citizen who appeared before council last night and spoke about the decals and as I wait for the train to go by. Citizen who wanted to follow up about a previous question they had raised about the decals that are placed on town vehicles. A few council members engaged directly and responded to the person's questions. Council comments last night. Todd Foreman reported that he had attended the police awards banquet, which was held on Friday night, passed along his compliments to Chief Ronnie Lewis and his staff. Bruce Johansson expressed his appreciation to employees in general. C.G. Stanley noted that we had a budget retreat on the previous Saturday, April 20th. I think it was April 20th. So they had good discussions and passed his compliments specifically along to Ann Cantrell and the finance staff. Stacy Haley also commented on the police banquet and shared his compliments with staff also in the budget preparation process. Bob Carson reported that he had walked around and talked to some folks in the community, and his perception was that people seem to be generally happy with the way things are going. And Mayor Black also responded to the question about decals and explained that the town has no policy with regard to what is placed on vehicles beyond the name of the town and the department involved, and does not intend to override the decision of any department head regarding that matter. Getting right into the meat of the agenda, there was a public hearing on proposed tax increases in the fiscal year 24-25 proposed budget. Those relate to adding a vehicle license fee, setting tax rates on the business, professional, and occupational license, and readoption of a machinery and tools tax. The proposal in the budget was to add a $20 per titled vehicle fee to all vehicles registered within town. The business license would be charged to all businesses with gross receipts in excess of $2 million at a rate of 10 cents per $100 of gross receipts. And the machinery and tools tax would be 20 cents per $100 of assessed value for applicable machinery and tools within that category. It's notable that B-Poll was something that the city formerly charged, and there was about a 10-year tax holiday that was brought back in the current fiscal year and assessed to those businesses with gross receipts of $3 million and above. Council is proposing to extend that to businesses of $2 million and above next year. There was discussion about the vehicle license tax for the coming year. Council is taking their time on that one and really reconsidering that, as well as the rates for machinery and tools and possibly the B-Poll. There were no people who appeared personally at the public hearing last night. There was an email sent by Mr. Josh Bond, who is a business owner in town, stating his opposition to the machinery and tools tax. That was noted and should be entered into the formal record for the meeting and will be reflected in the minutes. In new business, council adopted the real estate tax rate for fiscal year 24-25, which is 28 cents per $100 of assessed value. That reflects no change from the current tax rate. Council also discussed personal property taxes for the calendar year, and that encompassed most of the things that were included in the public hearing. Again, as I mentioned before, council is rethinking these proposals, which originated from council's finance committee. They tabled that matter and will bring it back up at the next meeting in May. Also, council took action to set the percentage of car tax relief. This is something that has a fairly long history, but essentially what it means is that in the town of Bedford, we only assess taxes on vehicles with a value of, well, the way we tax vehicles is based on their assessed value. Essentially, town residents do not pay car tax on the first $20,000 worth of value of your vehicles, and then the personal property tax rate applies thereafter. So what that means is if you have a car that is assessed at a value of less than $20,000, you do not pay a personal property tax to the town on that. If your car is worth more than $20,000, you only pay tax on that value beyond that $20,000 limit. That concluded the new business section of last night's meeting. Council did go into closed session to discuss basically a proposal from the Bedford Regional Water Authority related to property that the town owns adjacent to Stony Creek Reservoir. No action was taken after that closed session, and it's not likely that any action will be forthcoming based on that conversation. Fairly brief meeting, although with a lot of moving parts to it. Did have quite a few folks in attendance. A few council members noted that. We welcome people to attend. We meet the second and fourth Tuesdays of every month at 7 p.m., 215 East Main Street. Attendance of council meetings or watching council meetings is probably the very best way to be informed about what's happening in your town. So if you can't make it in person, we encourage you to watch the live stream provided through our media partner, Media Squatch. We also record and post those to our website, and there's a YouTube link. You can search for Town of Bedford, VA on YouTube to find recordings of past meetings. As always, if there's anything on your mind, good, bad, or otherwise, feel free to contact us at Town Hall. The direct line there is 540-587-6001. Or you can contact me by email directly at bwarner@bedfordva.gov. As always, we appreciate all our citizens, businesses, and customers. We aim to do our best to provide economic, efficient, and effective services to you, and appreciate your grace and your input in that effort. Till next time, I hope that everyone enjoys good health and good cheer in the world's best little town.